All around the world, big, strong men with tears in their eyes are coming up to Donald Trump and saying, "Sir, you're a loser." Hi, I'm Paul Krugman. A brief update on something that has palpably changed in the world in the last few days. As you know, regular watchers of Donald Trump and regular readers of mine know that Trump has a thing about the insisting that people treat him with immense respect, in the big strong men with tears in their eyes thing, sir stories, and in particular about believing that the world despised America under Joe Biden and respects it now under his leadership, which was never true either in the first part or the second. But it is true that until quite recently, many people in the world at least felt obliged to pretend to respect Trump, felt obliged to flatter him, to stifle the negative feelings that they were having about the course of the United States under current management, and maybe that was enough to maybe Trump actually took these kind of coerced professions of respect as reality. But in the last few days, suddenly the masks are off. And some of it, so Volodymyr Zelensky just yesterday put out actually tweeted out a part of an interview that he gave in which he said, among other things, "In my view, Russia played the Americans again." So it was just saying, basically that Trump is working with the Russians, which obviously he's known and has surely thought for a long, long time. But to say it that openly is something new. Zelensky, okay, not a big, strong man, but a strong man, not a big man. Zelensky is a tough guy. Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of Britain, is, alas, not. But also Starmer just in a statement said that we're tired of a world in which, and I'll quote, "bills go up or down on energy because of the actions of Putin or Trump." Equivalence, Trump and Putin in the same sentence, in the same breath. That's pretty stiff stuff. And, Starmer has been notable in trying to, preserve the special relationship, avoid offending Trump, trying to make him, get a few points off the tariff rate, whatever. But now Starmer is pretty much openly saying, you are the problem, and we don't trust you. What's this about? Well, obviously, the United States went to war with a fourth-rate power, Iran, and lost. Exactly how that plays out, we don't know, but it was truly impressive how poorly the United States military and the U.S. strategic thinking has played out here. The United States has also proved, both temperamental, lashing out at our erstwhile allies, and veering between threats of war crimes and then what looks a whole lot like abject surrender. So that's all. That the world no longer either fears or trusts us. Turns out that our military might is not what it was cracked up to be, and our reliability is essentially zero at this point. Nothing. We can't count on the United States to do anything that it has promised. It's a world of, the hegemon has basically gone AWOL. So that's a big thing. There's another story which I think is important, and it kind of has been overshadowed by the debacle in Iran, which is the bigger ongoing war, which is Ukraine-Russia, is not going well for Russia. It is, if anything, tilting increasingly in Ukraine's favor. Now, what's interesting about that? Why is that relevant? Trump is basically on the side of Putin. He's been unwilling, probably unable to just openly support Russia, but has effectively pulled all aid from Ukraine. There's essentially no money, no military aid, no economic aid flowing from the U.S. to Ukraine anymore. It's all on the Europeans now. And there's been a crimping of the supply. The Europeans have still been buying some U.S. weapons and transferring them onto Ukraine, but that's been largely choked off. And I think the assumption was that this would, that Ukraine would be in grave danger, would perhaps collapse without American support. Not happening. What's actually happening is that Ukraine appears to be gaining the upper hand in the drone war, which is what this war is mostly about. And Ukraine's success in adapting to modern warfare has been so great that now it looks like there are a significant number of Ukrainian drones and to some extent maybe personnel already deployed in the Middle East, and that the Middle Eastern nations other than Iran are quickly moving to strike deals with Ukraine to buy Ukrainian equipment. It's kind of like, well, if you need help and Iran is still a menace, which it is, don't count on the Americans, but maybe Ukraine knows how to do these things. That's, obviously that helps empower Zelensky to be open in saying what he really thinks about the United States. Does this matter? Well, we're not about to see the whole world turn on us. We're not about to see, the United States may have threatened to seize Greenland, but I don't think that Denmark is going to threaten to seize Alaska or anything like that. But it's a big come down, and it will hurt. It's a slow erosion, but having countries that trust you, that support you, is a very big asset in geopolitics. Losing all of that is therefore a big liability. And this is my country. I live here, so I care. I'm not celebrating all of this because I'd like to see America, particularly I'd like to see the next president, assuming that we actually have a legitimately elected president, inherit a brand that is not completely damaged and corrupted. But that's not where we're going. It's really looking pretty bad. And what can you say? We had the worst and the dumbest in charge. We still do. And that's taking a toll on all of us.